And it stays unsettled for the week ahead. Further showers. There'll be some sunshine in between, temperatures around average. See you again soon.
Today, clouds overhead. Total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
It's our biggest Great British giveaway to date. You could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. This 4-berth home from home comes complete with integrated kitchen and bathroom areas and has all of the tech you'd expect from the latest 2025 model. We'll also give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure that any adventures you take in your new motorhome are taken in style. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world, but look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Saturday night, and this is the Saturday Five, the UK's biggest Saturday night TV show. You know how it works. You know me. I'm Dr. Renee, and alongside me, I have Will Kingston still. I've got Kai Wilshaw. I've still got Bruce, but now I have Charlie Rowley. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Tonight on the show,
it's your chance to grill us in Ask the Five.
And we have a boost for Britain's boys. We're going to speak to an author who has written books to help boys read. Charlie.
What are you going to talk about, Charlie?
Charlie's going to be sharing our most uplifting moments in High Five.
Yes. Am I? Yes.
And
Yes,
are
you
we
are.
asking, are there too many Finns in Finland?
Kai, hello. You've done this show before.
I thought there was a clip of the Finns. Oh, and what's going on here?
Oh. At least I got it right.
We haven't got your clip either, so it's all going horribly wrong because I've taken over.
Oh, it's all you.
Oh, my goodness. It's 8 o'clock and this is Saturday 5 Extra and we have alcohol.
Right.
So now we'll see if we can rein it all back in, guys. Of course, we want to know your views as well. So keep on sending your views in. I will be reading them out. Go to gbnews.com/yoursay. I always forget that bit, apparently, but not tonight. But before we start tearing each other apart, we're not going to do that. We like each other. It's your Saturday night news with Bethany Elsey.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Bethany Elsey with your top stories from the GB newsroom. The Archbishop of York is accusing Nigel Farage of an isolationist and short-term knee-jerk response to the small boat crisis. Stephen Cottrell says the Reform UK leader, who has promised mass deportations, is not offering a solution to the big issues driving people to risk crossing the English Channel. Farage has set out plans to remove 600,000 people from the country if he becomes the next Prime Minister. 5 people have been arrested during protests outside a hotel housing migrants in West London. Police say the group were wearing masks, attempted to enter the Crown Plaza Hotel and damaged the security hoarding. Hundreds of protesters and counter-protesters have gathered outside hotels across the country, and further action is expected tomorrow. It's after the Court of Appeal overturned an injunction which would have blocked asylum seekers from being housed at the Bell Hotel in Epping. Following that verdict, several councils are considering legal action to try and stop the practice. Criticism over the Deputy Prime Minister's tax affairs are now coming from within her own party. Graham Stringer is the first from the Labour Party to publicly condemn Angela Rayner over whether she paid the correct tax on her various homes, saying the optics don't look good. It's after reports Miss Rayner, who is also the Housing Secretary, avoided paying £40,000 in stamp duty when buying her new flat in East Sussex by telling tax authorities it was her main home. Although entirely legal, the Conservatives are calling for an investigation. The Prime Minister of Yemen's Houthi government and several other ministers have been killed in an Israeli airstrike. A number of others were injured when the capital Sana'a was hit. Israel claims the airstrike was targeting the Iran-aligned group's chief of staff, defence minister and other senior officials. And it's not all paradise for Coldplay fans expecting to see them perform at Wembley next weekend. The band have apologised to the 82,000 ticket holders as they've been forced to reschedule the final 2 dates of their 10-show run due to tube strikes. Members of the RMT union are walking out for a week from Friday, making it impossible for the gigs to go ahead on the 7th and 8th of September as planned. Instead, they'll take place on the 6th and 12th. You're up to date. I'll have more for you in half an hour.
Take the GB News family with you on any device. As long as you have an internet connection, tune into GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Saturday 5. We're trying to pull it all back together now after that wonderful intro. Now, I think before we go to Ask the Fives, and you have been sending those in their bucket loads, so we have plenty, I'm just going to read a couple of your messages. And Alan Patriot has picked me up, actually. He said that I said that people on benefits earn 25k a year. They don't earn a penny.
Yeah.
And they don't, do they, guys?
Yeah.
I don't think they do. And actually, that brings me to the point where I think you should pay tax on benefits. To see what it's like to get money in and it going out again.
I think that's just adding more bureaucracy, which will cost us money. Just give them less benefits, and the people who don't deserve it, no benefits.
Sure enough. So, one for you, Kai.
Oh.
Chris Cork.
Our favourite. Yeah.
He says he's got a Pokemon collection. Is that allowed?
Well, it's not whether I think it's allowed, it's what the British public think, whether it's childish or more for adults. Pokemon cards, I think, would be more on the childish side, but I love the Pokemon.
You've just called Corky childish.
I know, and I'm gonna feel the wrath of his hundreds of thousands of followers now. But yeah, no, I mean, as much as I like Pokemon, I think it's on the kids' side.
Is it still a thing?
It is.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, for kids.
So it seems that my comment on young people need to have more drink, sex and rock and roll, you missed that, Charlie, has gone down really, really well. Steve Kenny says he wants me as his GP.
Yeah.
So on that note...
But Charlie's not missed the memo, I don't think.
So on that note, it is time for you to have your say. They're a rowdy bunch in Ask the Five. So it's time for you to have your say and Ask the Five. And the first one is from David on Your Say. So David says, sorry, I thought David was going to be with us on video. David said, who is each panellist's favourite lefty on the channel? I'm going to start with Will.
Well, it is genuinely Kai.
Yeah.
It is genuinely Kai. If I didn't have to pick Kai, or if Kai wasn't allowed, I think Matthew Torbett's very good. I think, he's very balanced, even-handed. I like Matthew.
That's interesting. I think Kai's the best just because he knows how to take himself not so seriously.
And no
I think
lefties
a lot of the
know how to do
lefties
that.
are very, very miserable.
100%.
I actually am very fond of Benjamin Butterworth.
Yeah. Well, he's a great man, I think.
Do you not have a favourite?
No idea. Who is he? Not a clue.
Do you not have a favourite lefty?
I do. I think it's, and I'll be vilified for this, I'm sure, but Matthew Stadler.
Oh, no, please.
I think there's something about Matthew that is highly entertaining. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to stir the pot and rile us all up, and so he knows what he's doing when he comes
Charlie, you need to drink more.
Yes. I can't. I didn't mention Butterworth this. I don't know what's going on, but I'm here.
A cold wind just went through the studio.
So obviously I've only done the show twice, but I watched the show. And I have to admit, Kai, the thing is we talk. And I was with Jonathan the last time I was here. I actually got on quite well with Jonathan. I like to think I just get on with people.
This is Jonathan Liss.
Jonathan Liss, and me and Kai have spoken. Generally us righties are not all fascist, horrible people. We do have conversations, don't we? So for me, Kai edges it, I think, this week.
Just me and Will are in his fascist.
No, I love what I love is meeting viewers, and actually we have a lovely time, and they say you chat a load of rubbish, but we like you, and I love meeting those viewers. We have a great time. I enjoy this show every single week.
Hang on. There's a lefty who we all love that we've missed.
Alex Armstrong.
No, I was going to say hello.
Trey's pretty left-wing, I think. on some things.
Right, but then let's go on now to Dee on Your Say, who says, is it legally possible to charge or sue France for each illegal migrant that enters the UK, considering that they are already in a safe country? Well,
I don't know the legal fine points. My guess is no. But again, it just goes to show that the international legal framework doesn't work in our favour, so we need to get out of it to the extent that it harms the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
I would say that France are actually charging us for every illegal that they send across the channel because we're paying them a fortune of money and it's just coming. What do you think, Charlie?
Well, I think that's right. I think we should just stop paying them. Instead of, trying to get money back from France, just stop paying the billions, what it must run into now, that we're sending across the channel for them to do not very much.
I'd go way further. I would hold the fishing licences up here and say, you're not having these while people are still coming.
Yeah, they negotiated that deal, didn't they? They negotiated the deal. I would retract that deal. And I would definitely be trying to make a claim to take that. Will, do you agree to take that money back? We've seen footage of the police officers on the beach waving them off. So what are we paying for? And I wouldn't give them any more money.
The point is that the UK is still a powerful country and it's got leverage against other countries that we want to do things. We've seen Trump use leverage very well. If we want Pakistan to take back refugees or illegal migrants, for example, cut their aid. We have leverage, but we're not using it.
Weak government.
Yeah, one of the biggest jokes at the minute when we see the French government in crisis, as well as our own, is actually these agreements that are touted for a couple of years at a time are quite fragile things.
It also shows us, Kai, that Europe is a dying brand, collapsing at every angle.
Yep. No comment.
Well, on that note, Kai, Andy on Ask the Five says, will this Labour Party run their full term?
Oh, no.
Well, yes, if there's an election in 2029, it's an odd question. I don't think Keir Starmer will fight the next general election. I think it'll be somebody else. I do think at the minute the government will see through its full term, despite the political momentum shifting. I know there's been a lot of doomsaying about the financial markets, but we've had much worse before in the past, and that hasn't failed governments.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
Charlie?
I think it'll get to 2029, but not with Keir Starmer.
Interesting.
And that's why it's fascinating when people on the left are even now saying
I think it's going to collapse next year.
No, it absolutely won't, because there's no mechanism by
You've
which...
disagreed with me twice now.
But again, of course I would like to see an election as soon as possible, but the arguments for this government will collapse is almost like they will hold an election out of embarrassment. And that's not going to happen. There is no mechanism for them to have an election unless they call it, and there's nothing that's going to force them.
What if there's a financial meltdown?
Then they'll say, we're the best people to fix it. Obviously they're not, but that is what they'll say. There is nothing forcing them to have an election.
But do we actually believe that some of these Labour MPs might have a moral compass?
No.
No, it's quite but
some of them.
It's quite the opposite, and you know, I'm glad to hear you say that, Will, because I do think that there are elements on the right who are willing on government collapse, state collapse, but it's not going to happen. There's a reason why we have 5 years for this government. Like it or lump it, we live in a democracy.
I'm not saying there won't be a collapse of some type. I'm just saying that won't be enough to compel them to go to an election.
Charlie, you've got the inside track on the Tory party. What do they think?
Not very much.
Well, I think for all of their faults, of which there were many, and that's why people were looking to vote for a different party. That's why the Labour government came in. Nobody voted for Labour because they thought that they were the humdingers of the next sort of 5 years that are going to fix all of our problems. They just wanted to get rid of all the politics that's going on within the Tories. I don't think there's... Kemi needs time, the Tories need a bit of time to come back. I don't think they're going to get much of a look in. And that's why so many people are now going to reform. These are Tory voters that are exasperated. I'll have another sip. By by tax hikes and all the rest of it. And... people want to see tax cuts, they want to see crime down.
People wanted change and got exactly the same, if not worse.
Worse, I think. Yes.
Absolutely worse.
OK, so I'm going to answer the next question, but do feel free to chip in. So Jonathan Carson says, something I've always wondered, what happens if you're live and on TV and you're desperate for the loo in a 3-hour stint? Well, the answer to that, Jonathan, is we're often desperate for the loo. We wait until there's a break of, for me, it has to be 3 minutes, and we dash off in those breaks.
You haven't noticed jar under the table.
I've been twice tonight.
Bottles of wee. But actually, the break at the end of the hour is long enough to even have a cigarette break, I found.
That's disgusting. I'm a doctor, that's bad for you.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
Kant says, ask the 5, what's the point of Kai? Any offers?
How do you solve a problem like Kai Wilshaw? Yeah.
Well, look, there is literally no better beaver reporter in the United Kingdom than Kai Wilshaw. It's a limited sample, but the best beaver reporter in the United Kingdom, if not the world.
Watch this space.
Watch this.
So anyway, guys, now it's time for our latest Great British Giveaway, and it's our biggest prize to date, worth over £104,000. You could win a 4-berth motorhome worth over £74,000. I want this, by the way. Plus a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash. And here is Hayley Sparks with all of the details.
It's our biggest, greatest Great British Giveaway to date. Your chance to win a prize package worth over £104,000. You could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primero motorhome. With thanks to Marquis Leisure, this 4-berth home from home comes complete with integrated kitchen and bathroom areas, sky view roof light, and has all the tech you'd expect from the latest 2025 model. We'll also give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure any adventures in your motorhome are taken in style.
For a chance to win the motorhome and cash, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
So, welcome back, everybody. After this week's GCSE results, again showing that boys are doing worse than girls at school, next I'm going to be joined by an author who's written books telling young lads that they can be brave, they can be strong, it's not toxic. So you've got to tune in for this. It's a brilliant interview. This is the Saturday 5 Extra on GB News.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Chris, let's have a look at, I think, one of my favourite stories this morning. And this is the daughter of the inventor of the Freddo chocolate bar, which we have in front of us. Now, I remember at school these were 10p. 10p, 20p?
You remember them at school?
Yeah.
So we had a discussion, an agreement, and I was
you can have yours now.
absolutely hammered.
Are they the same size as the words?
I think they've got smaller, you know.
Of course they have.
Or maybe I've got bigger.
Well,
No,
we have all got
that's-
bigger. You haven't actually got any bigger. You're still tiny. But, yeah, they have got smaller. Shrinkflation is a thing.
Is a thing.
Depending on where you buy them, you can actually spend £1 for one of these. And they are tiny, weeny, as you can see there. I haven't bitten mine off yet.
18 grams, they're tiny.
The more shocking part of this entire story, Chris Akabusi, is that Chris is the only man on earth.
I've never heard of a Freddo.
What?
I've never heard of a Freddo. And look, there's no way. And then Dawn was trying to tell me that they were around when I was a kid. Absolutely.
You haven't lived. Eat it now. Open.
There's no way that a Freddo. I don't, you know. And then I was thinking. He says here that Freddo is used as a common yardstick to track inflation. No, it used to be the Mars bar.
No, it's the Freddo.
It used to be the Mars bar.
The humble Freddo.
This is. So what's so special about the Freddo?
Just eat it. It's amazing. Cheers.
Oh, cheers, my dear.
Bing.
Well, Chris, tracking the financial index yesterday,
yes,
I decided to have a Mars bar, and I was able to have 2 of them because they were so small.
Yeah.
So tiny.
Absolutely.
And thin.
Absolutely.
A disgrace of what a Mars bar used to be, or an Aztec bar, or a Topic bar, or...
Yeah, there you go.
Anything, yeah.
But you don't remember Freddo.
No, so
we are the same
Wagon Wheels,
generation.
Curly Whirly.
Yeah.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Saturday 5 Extra. Don't forget to get in touch with us at gbnews.com/yoursay. Get your questions in for Ask the Five. I will read out as many as I can. Thank you for your messages so far. I'm going to go back on the last hour, actually. Richard of Yorkshire messaging to say that Angela Rayner cut her tax bill by more than the working class average earnings for a year's work. And that's true, isn't it? It's whether or not she did it all within the law, nobody's saying anything else. It is such an insult to working people.
Yeah.
The ones that they said they wouldn't tax and would help.
Totally. I think everything that she sort of stood for in her political career, and she's quite opinionated. Calling the Tories scum. She uses that kind of language. She's the housing secretary. She's responsible for council tax and building more homes and getting people on the housing ladder. And at a time when the Treasury are putting out stories to try and tax you more through your property, the idea that this summer she's gone and made a pretty penny by avoiding tax legally, it's immoral.
Do you not think that Labour ministers take their job roles very seriously? We had the corruptions minister accused of corruption. We had the homelessness minister accused of making some people homeless. And now we have the housing minister doing dodgy deals so that she can save a bit of stamp duty. They do take their job very seriously.
I guess if you know how to rort the system, that hypothetically should make you better at stopping it. But unfortunately, we're not getting the benefits of that.
It's that double standard again. It's that absolute double standard that resonates across the board, that they just don't understand or represent normal people in society. They don't understand the optics around what they're doing, either care or even know what they're doing. Do they even know what they're doing? I think is the question.
On Angela Rayner, I think she has pushed for policies that actually will make her poorer in the long term, right? But apart from all that, I do think it still pales in comparison with the sleaze and how bad the Tories were was beyond compare.
When you're in the chair, you can tell me to be quiet.
All right, nobody will be listening anyway to me.
And just going back briefly to Thetis Rame said, bring back the Bibi Stockholm and keep the illegal migrants detained and not free to roam the streets. If it was good enough for workers, it should be good enough for them. I agree 100%. And on that note, I'm not even going to allow you to speak, Kaya. Now, to a heartwarming story. So there's an author, his name is Ken, and I first came across him a couple of years ago because, as you know, I'm really interested in children and their reading and actually proper parenting. And this guy has actually made it his mission to help boys who are being left behind in the modern world. Girls, once again, did better than boys in both A-levels and GCSEs this year. It's never been more difficult to be a boy. But Ken is telling them they can be masculine, they can be brave, they can be strong. And that's really important. And I'm delighted to say that Ken joins us now. Hi, Ken. Thank you so much for joining us. I have already filled in the panel on what you've done, but just for the viewers watching tonight, can you give us a rundown of why you decided to write the brilliant Bob books?
Yes, good evening, Saturday 5, and Renee, nice to see you again. You know, I wrote a book in 2019 about male suicide, and because men were not doing very well, you know, there are lots of suicide. So anyway, I thought to get to the men, I should get to the boys using the Jesuit approach, because boys were doing very bad in school and they don't read very well. In fact, in America, they're significantly behind the girls from the 4th grade to the 8th grade to the 12th grade, and the gap gets wider. And in the UK, it's about 9 months difference of a school year, difference of reading. So I thought, right, the way to get to the man is to get to the boy, the Jesuit approach. So I thought if I could get to them young, and I was tired of hearing the toxic masculinity thing and the attacks on males. So I thought, right, what would be better to write about than masculine traits that would be beneficial to boys? So that was the idea. And so I created 7 different books. One being about bravery, one being about strong. Brilliant Bob is the protagonist. Brilliant Bob is brave. Brilliant Bob is competitive, strong. He takes a risk. He's stoic, he's persistent, and he's curious. So those are the 7 books.
Ken, this is a wonderful initiative. Congratulations. You started as an author for adults, and that's obviously very different to communicating with children. What is the way, or how do you think about communicating what are sometimes serious or at least important messages to kids, and how does that differ from how you would communicate some of those themes to adults?
Well, you got to keep the message short and sweet, simple, small words. But what I wanted to do was create interesting adventures, things that the boys could relate to. So to do that, I went to my childhood and things that I could relate to. I didn't read very well. I didn't read very much. And I didn't touch a book for a long time, up until probably I was 14 years old. So I just took the simple concepts and then developed lots of good pictures, because these books are for 2 to 8-year-olds primarily. And so I thought, get good pictures that will tell the story basically itself, use basic language, and make it simple so that, you know, this is books for young kids, and I wanted to get to them early, so simple language.
Thank you, Ken, for joining us. We've seen that there's a bit of a crisis in reading for pleasure, haven't we, with young kids at the minute who are digitally native. Is that something you think that is particularly a concern for young boys? How are you thinking about that?
Well, this is part of the problem, that boys read less well than girls, and they read much less often than girls. So the problem is the school system doesn't give the boys books that they want to read. And now we have smartphones and mobile phones, and of course the attention spans are less. So the boys aren't going to read as much as girls won't either. And so these new results are showing that, in fact, it was in the paper about, shortest attention spans and using mobiles too much, and they don't want to read very long. So the trick is really just to give the boys something, and the girls, but in this case, we're talking about boys, give them something they want to read. And that's been the primary problem all along, is boys in the school system are being made to read books that are more feminine, with female characters and protagonists based on relationships and things like that, whereas boys want to read different things. And that's why I wrote the books that I wrote, because they're adventures. Boys like to do things and adventure, and they're curious, and they like to be strong, and they like to be brave, I believe, and all these kind of things, and persistence, all these traits that I talked about. They're good for girls as well, and they're good for people, but they're going to serve boys very well in their lives. So, it was making everyday adventures into something that they could relate to, and showing them the usefulness of masculinity in their lives. And the idea was to get the fathers to read to them, so that at night the fathers could bond with the boys and vice versa, and they could talk about maleness and masculinity, and the fathers could explain how masculinity helped and what these traits did for them in their lives.
Ken, I think it's absolutely vital that young boys learn to read and should be reading and doing more. But the only way I think that they get to that stage is if they have more male role models in the classroom, particularly at primary schools. So if you have a teacher there that you can relate to, a male teacher who's reading or that's actually helping you develop as a young boy into a man, we seem to have a shortage of male teachers in the classrooms. Is that something that obviously you think needs to be changed or not? Or how do you encourage more men to get into teaching or to be role models for these boys as they become men?
Well, that's a great question. We have to, first of all, we've got to show boys that reading is cool, because boys think it's feminine. That's one of the things of the statistics. And they don't see enough men reading. So fatherlessness is a big issue as well. There's too many kids without fathers. So that is a problem. So that's why I use the term significant male. We've got to have somebody reading to these boys. And as you know, the school system, you could be in primary school, or in America, I forget the name of it now. Anyway, it could be 90% female, and that is feminized, and it's a feminized school system as well, the way they reward the girls, because boys don't tend to sit, and they're not as compliant as the girls, and the school system doesn't factor that in. And it's good luck. We've got to try to get more men in school as teachers, but that's not going to happen unless they severely change or significantly change the school system. So until they do that, and I believe a minister for boys would be a good idea, like they have for girls, because if we take education seriously, like they say that they do, and it's interesting, in the 70s, you'll probably remember when the girls were behind in education, we said there's something wrong with the system. Now, when the boys are behind, we're saying there's something wrong with the boys. And so I believe a minister for boys, and even men, could get in there and change the system the way it needs to be changed, so that boys can be taught how they need to be taught, because boys don't like to sit still. They're not compliant, they're rambunctious, and they don't aim to please the teacher like girls do. So we need men. So we all know how we could get men. You got to pay them. You got to make it a professional career like it used to be. You got to balance it out, and you got to make it a male-friendly environment as well.
Well, I think,
yes.
Ken, that's the key, isn't it? We need to stop demonising our men as well, so they want to go into this as a career. I think what you're doing is brilliant. I think we need to get the word out there. I think parents, whether male or female, whether grandparents or not, need to be reading to their boys. Bob, I know that you've got brilliantbob.com where people can find your books. Sorry, Ken, where people can find your books. Just keep going, get the word out there, and thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Thanks, Renee. Thank you, panel.
Thank you.
Excellent.
OK, so it's fascinating, isn't it? I think this is something that we don't do with children enough, I think. I think reading with our children at night is where we bond, and it's where we teach them to love stories and create imagination.
But this is a bit like the smartphone debate that we've had a few times on this show. It comes down to parental responsibility, but when there's a lack of that, and I think that's increased in recent years, what do you do then? So, as you say, the role of schools and having male role models is critical, but I don't see a way out of that at the minute.
Also, that's the negative we need to combat, but also instilling a sense of wonder and adventure is important. Like, can anyone, if there is a quote that is rattling around in the back of my mind, I can't quite grab it, if this rings a bell for anyone, but it's from a C.S. Lewis or someone of that ilk, and it is, it can be a dark and scary world. Let's equip our children by telling them stories of brave heroes and wonderful adventures. And it is so true. I think we may have lost a bit of that, instilling children with a sense of wonder, at least a sense of wonder that doesn't come via an iPad.
Well, I was going to say, I do think that that's taken away from their ability to actually do that on their own, but I think that was brilliant, and it's brilliantbob.com. But still to come on Saturday 5 Extra.
People shouldn't have to work to prove their value to you. In fact, people shouldn't have to work.
Yes, more of this week's triggered tantrums are on their way. This is the Saturday 5 Extra on GB News.
You're looking happy.
Well, the forecast looks good.
So you've sorted the travel insurance then?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Storm Augustin is easing across northern parts of Europe, bringing mostly settled conditions, though we can't rule out some showers at times. For example, across northwest Portugal, northern parts of Spain and western parts of France, we just have some outbreaks of rain pushing through here. But otherwise, as we move our way eastwards across the Mediterranean, mostly high pressure dominating, so plenty of sunshine to go around. Though as we head into next week, there's a chance we could just start to see some thundery showers push into parts of Italy, but temperatures mostly remaining in the mid to high 20s.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello there, welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. Low pressure in charge of our weather at the moment. It's bringing a band of rain eastwards, but it should soon clear, and then blustery showers will follow overnight. And it's another windy day across the whole of the UK through Sunday. We can see low pressure just anchored to the northwest of the UK at the moment, driving weather systems eastwards. That rain will soon clear eastern parts of England, northeast Scotland as we head into the early hours. And then overnight we'll see a mixture of clear spells and showers. Showers most frequent across western areas. Some of them could be heavy at times. The odd rumble of thunder is possible, and it stays quite blustery here. Temperatures for everyone with that wind around and showers staying in double figures around 12 to 14 Celsius. So a bright start on Sunday morning, a mixture of sunny spells and scattered showers. The overnight rain just about clearing Shetland first thing, and then a bright start across much of Scotland. Some showers in the west from the word go. Breezy though, particularly in the west, gusts of 40 miles an hour or so. Mixture of sunny spells and showers for Northern Ireland into northern England. Wales and southern parts of England also seeing a scattering of showers, whilst the Midlands, East Anglia, southeast England should initially be largely dry, but we'll see some showers developing here through the day. And a windy day for everyone. The wind's coming in from the southwest, gales around western coast, perhaps 50-60 mile an hour gusts for eastern parts of Northern Ireland into western Scotland. Some persistent rain developing here later on in the afternoon. Widespread showers for many. Where you miss them, in the sunshine, temperatures reaching 22 or 23 Celsius, but feeling rather cool with that blustery wind. For Monday, low pressure still in charge. Frequent showers across northern and western parts. Some heavy showers in there, some thunderstorms. Those pushing eastwards as the day goes on. And another blustery day for much of the country, and it stays unsettled for the week ahead. Further showers, there'll be some sunshine in between, temperatures around average. See you again soon.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it?
no,
Because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Dubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back, everybody. It's still the Saturday 5 Extra, and we want you to get in contact. I am going through them, and I'm going to read out as many as I can. Please get in contact at gbnews.com/yoursay. Thank you for your messages so far. Will is insisting that I read this out now, so I will before I lose it. It's the C.S. Lewis quote that he mentioned in the last interview, which is, "Since it is so likely that children will meet cruel enemies, let them at least have heard of brave knights and heroic courage." And I couldn't agree more.
Brilliant.
And it sounds like that is something that Bob is really doing. So it's, that's what Ken, is really doing by the Bob books.
I know, it's very difficult to differentiate Ken, but I do it all the time. Catherine Blatchy says on this topic that Ken was a great guest, and she thinks the school system can be quite punishing for boys. It doesn't embrace the majority of boys' nature nearly enough. And I think that's right. It doesn't accept that boys might not need to sit on a chair forever and might need to run around in the classroom and just get rid of some of that natural steam.
Yeah, 100% agree, yeah. And I try and employ that with my little boy as well. He's 5, and I just go and do stuff.
Climb trees.
Climb trees, get dirty. Yeah.
And then we had another message that I've actually managed to lose, but it says that boys in the 60s and 70s were taught that being masculine was good. What happened?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what happened. This whole softy, transgender ideology, toxic masculinity, that's what happened. And it demonised our boys. It made them terrified of their own shadows.
The left happened, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we were talking, weren't we? And I am a 1977... I was born in 1977. I grew up with a family full of boys, uncles, and we did boisterousness. We were boisterous. We were boisterous lads. We played. We tripped each other up. We did all sorts of games. And have I turned into some monster because of it?
Do you know what? It's interesting because I've got a girl now, a young girl, and she is very, very lively. And I let her do that. She likes nothing better than climbing trees or climbing
for girls as well. Yeah,
and we've tried to suppress that with our kids. And today we were queuing for lunch, and she was hanging upside down off of Daddy's arm, and I'm like, if you fall, you're going to hurt your head. You know, we need to let them be children. Get it out of their system.
Were you born in 1977?
I was born in 77.
How had you done for 1978?
I'll tell you when I was born. Oh dear, they're so young, guys. They're so young. It's now time for High Five, where we're going to discuss our favourite moments from the past week. Will, what have you got for us?
Well, I was actually chastised from Alex for my choice this week. But
So was I.
Yeah, well, his reign of terror is over now. So this actually, he said it's meant to be, positive, feel-good stories. But I challenge you, ladies and gentlemen, has anything made you smile or laugh more, not just in the past week, but in the past year, than this gem of a clip?
Hello. Is this an illegal migrant place?
Oh my days! Is there any context to this clip at all?
I've watched that about 20 times.
I'll tell you what, it is so brilliant because it's Jacob Rees-Mogg. And I said before the show what I loved about this clip was he went blackberry picking with his boys, wearing a double-breasted suit and a tie.
It's the most British way of exposing migrant hotels you possibly could. Speaking over the...
So Jacob turned investigative journalist to find a migrant hotel.
Right.
And the great thing is he does everything with a knowing wink.
And so lovingly,
Was this from his reality TV show? Or?
OK. So now mine is, and I was told off for mine as well, mine is AI generated, I accept that. But it shows you now, I think, that the lion in the British patriotism is waking up. Look at this. I am not going to to tell you guys what Kai Wiltshire said in the break. I love that. He does not.
Oh, I just think it's funny.
Anyway,
I don't think it's very good, that's all. The AI video, I know it's patriotic, that's great, but it is a bit rubbish.
Charlie, ignore Kai. What have you got for us?
Well, the sentiments are there, wasn't it? It's all about Braveheart, I suppose, and we love an underdog, and no better underdog. See what I did there? The great people of Grimsby were celebrating this week as Grimsby Town Football Club, there they are, thrashed in penalties, 12-11. Manchester United, who have won every kind of trophy under the sun, but little old Grimsby League Two, whose players, by the way, are on part-time wages, some of them. They're all sort of local lads. They rose to the occasion, and a great fish and chip town that it is, they battered Man United, and I think that's worth celebrating. I hope the celebrations went long to the
I'm suspecting that not everybody will think that's a high five, but I accept that people from Grimsby probably do.
I think every time you've got a case of a David and Goliath is always a win.
And it's the wonderful thing about football that it can provide those moments in a way few other sports can.
Bruce, what have you got for us?
So mine, if you haven't heard, is about Ewan, Jamie and Lachlan McLean, who broke a world record sailing across, rowing, I should say, across the Pacific Ocean in a record 139 days, 5 hours and 52 minutes. And basically they encountered cyclones and all kinds of dangers across the way. Personally, I would not want to be rowing a boat across the Pacific, but they did it.
Sounds boring,
Well
doesn't
done
it?
to them.
Yeah.
Well,
amazing, but it must get dull.
Let's see if yours is boring.
Well, mine certainly is not boring. Are you attending the Big Gay Beaver Day? Well, rewilding charity Citizen...
I'll clear my diary.
Well, yeah, when you're not watching football teams being thrashed, I'm sure you'll find some time. No, Citizen Zoo is organising an event called literally Big Gay Beaver Day. It's a fundraiser on September 6th to celebrate Perivale, where London's first urban beavers were released. And the event says it aims to celebrate beavers, urban ecology and the queer community.
Are they gay, the beavers?
I have no idea what the gay angle is, but it is what it is.
Can beavers be gay?
That's a question we'd have to ask them. But the audience keep saying, and I don't know why, they keep saying Kai's never met a beaver in his life. he wouldn't recognise a beaver if one sat on his face. And they're wrong.
OK, anyway, from there, what can I say? Next, we'll have more of our triggered tantrums.
People shouldn't have to work to prove their value to you. In fact, people shouldn't have to work.
Lost for words. This is the Saturday 5 Extra on GB News.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact that Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a show worth waking up for.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
We'll spread the news, you spread the word.
Miriam, you can't be serious. Scrapping the triple lock on state pensions? Madness.
Andrew, we just can't carry on pretending. The numbers just don't add up. We've got to be honest with people. We've got to face the facts. That's what people want.
Well, that's what you get on GB News and on Britain's Newsroom. Lively debates, lively conversation.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first, and we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Always makes me want to dance, that.
Yeah, I
Welcome
do.
back, everybody, to Saturday 5 Extra and a dancing me. Anyway, please do continue to get in touch with us at gbnews.com. Your say, I will be reading as many as I can. Thank you for your messages so far. Just grabbing a couple of them here. Going back to what we were talking about in the last hour, Jeffrey Tucker says, why is this government repeatedly saying that the hotels will be emptied of all migrants by the end of their term, but they're still offering 7-year deals to the hoteliers?
Yeah, that is curious.
And it is curious, isn't it?
But the other point is that they think that there is a distinction between putting people in hotels or HMOs. You're still providing the incentive. It's still a roof over their head. It's just in a slightly different format. And they don't seem to grasp that.
They seem to be praying for the best but planning for the worst, and that's exactly what people don't like, isn't it? This idea that they don't even believe themselves that they're going to solve this crisis.
Everyone's seeing through it, aren't they? Like, everyone's starting to see through it.
They are, and actually Jim Richards says, Kai, all you ever hear from the left is that we are a tolerant nation, so why are they so hell-bent on letting so many intolerant people storm our shores?
It's a fair question. It's a fair question. And I think lots of people are thinking that maybe some of these waves of migration that we're seeing now are sort of different in kind, not just in scale, to previous waves of migration.
Because they're economic migrants.
Yeah, it's very different, though. I think culturally it's very different. But on that note, should we cheer ourselves up with some tantrums? Charlie, what have you got for us?
Well, just as GB News branches out to stateside, you thought politics here was crackers at times. We've now got a clip from a Nebraska state senator. Her name is Michaela Kavanagh, and I can't quite work out what she's saying here, but let's have a listen.
People belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people.
Well, keep taking the tablets, but you know, I think she's very pro-trans. I'm getting from that clip. It seems that way. Very pro-trans.
It's a little bit much, isn't it? It's a bit much, isn't it? I just don't understand.
Why are they all bonkers?
Yes, and it doesn't seem to matter whether you're in the United Kingdom, America, Germany, they're all the same.
It's because they live in an echo chamber and they never hear other normal people say, you are bonkers. It is just a cult of bonkerishness that is reinforced by other bonkers people.
And that clip is the answer very quickly. When anybody asks, you know, why did people vote for Donald Trump? It's because of people...
You're right, you're absolutely right. Talking of bonkers, have you got something bonkers for us?
So mine, Renee, is Samia Aran-Farr, who is, I don't know if she's from the Helsinki University or if she was attending the Helsinki University in Finland, the University of Technology, who thinks there are too many Finns in Finland.
Finns and Finns and Finns, and everywhere you look, they are just Finns. So it's a bit difficult to blend in here. But I think that's something that is solvable in the near future because more and more immigrants are coming here.
I think when she says the statement, that's something we will solve in the future.
It's quite chilling, actually.
And this is it's a problem, isn't it? The whole idea, whether you're on the left or whatever, is integration, correct? It's supposed to integrate into society. And when you're saying there is too much of an indigenous society in a society, be it Finland, Norway, the United Kingdom, That's a bit of a problem, surely.
Yeah.
I found that really chilling, actually. I know it was. I actually found that really chilling because it will change for that reason.
Yeah.
And there's a massive culture problem that we have to learn to talk about and overcome.
Yeah. Mind you, on the culture scale, Finns go in with, I think, the Dutch. They are a bit bonkers, I've found, in my experience. The Dutch are nuts, Renee, you know that.
I'm sorry to our Dutch and Finnish viewers out there.
And to Renee's family. Go, Kai.
Go, Kai. Shall I go? No, let's just watch this clip that Dr. Renee sent to me this week.
People shouldn't have to work to prove their value to you. In fact, people shouldn't have to work. People should want to work, and I want to work, and I do work. But it's like, no amount of working is ever going to be enough to prove that I'm not disabled, and no amount of work is going to make me not disabled.
And that was Secretary of State for Work and Pensions, Liz Kendall. Yeah, no, it does sound a bit like the state of... I'd be in trouble for that.
I love the slowed down background music. I mean, look, I watched that and I just thought nothing would make me love you. Is that a terrible thing to say? And also, I do not know how anyone who has got nails that are 10 centimetres long and pointed can do any job.
Well, it raises an interesting question. What would have happened if Alice turned out to be awfully woke and one of those...
Well, she might, yeah.
Well, what are you going to do?
My son is.
What have you done?
And you love him all the same.
I mean, it's just bizarre, isn't it? Firstly, that these people are making these videos and putting them online. Secondly, that they have this weird view now that, you know, you don't... Firstly, you don't have to work to be validated. Why do people have to be validated?
And the problem is, once this gets entrenched, and I've seen it a lot in the last few weeks, people I talk to, once you have spent a few years, especially after COVID, just sitting at home, not having the impetus to work, you sort of lose it. It's working your whole life. It's about getting into the rhythm. You wake up, you go to work. I lost that for a bit. I feel that lots of young people at the minute might lose it for good.
That's very true. I think it's a very good point.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard, isn't it? But I think because we're making superstars out of these people by doing this, this is what happens every time. And I think it's a sad indictment on society today that we can find so many amusing triggered tantrums. I think we need to change the name of this, guys. What do you reckon?
Everybody thinks they're a content creator these days, don't they? Everybody thinks that they have a chance at the big leagues, but they're not contributing anything. I appreciate it when somebody says something original.
Which reminds me, everyone can watch my podcast, Fire at Will, available on YouTube.
That is so blatant. Goodness, guys.
This has been work. This has been work this evening.
Do you think this is work, Charlie?
Not particularly hard work, but...
He is a Tory, but listen, everybody.
I've been with the great and good of Saturday
I'm going to say thank you to all of our guests. Guys, for joining in the fun tonight. I'm now handing over to the most amazing new presenter for his new show, Alex Armstrong.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. A. Brilliant show, Saturday 5 Extra there. Listen, I'm going to reveal tonight, on debuting my show, some shocking new birth rate data. Trust me, the consequences for our country could be severe. I'm also going to be talking about this hypocritical Liberal Democrat council who's painting over your beautiful St. George's crosses. And because I want this to be about you, I've got real people coming on this show to talk to me about why they are protesting. I promise you, this is going to be a show like no other. I can't wait to see you in just a few minutes.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. Low pressure in charge of our weather at the moment. It's bringing a band of rain eastwards, but it should soon clear, and then blustery showers will follow overnight. And it's another windy day across the whole of the UK through Sunday. We can see low pressure just anchored to the northwest of the UK at the moment, driving weather systems eastwards. That rain will soon clear eastern parts of England, northeast Scotland as we head into the early hours. And then overnight we'll see a mixture of clear spells And showers most frequent across western areas. Some of them could be heavy at times. The odd rumble of thunder is possible. And it stays quite blustery here. Temperatures for everyone with that wind around and showers staying in double figures around 12 to 14 Celsius. So a bright start on Sunday morning, a mixture of sunny spells and scattered showers. The overnight rain just about clearing Shetland first thing, and then a bright start across much of Scotland. Some showers in the west from the word go. Breezy though, particularly in the west, gusts of 40 miles an hour or so. Mixture of sunny spells and showers for Northern Ireland into northern England. Wales and southern parts of England also seeing a scattering of showers, whilst the Midlands, East Anglia, South East England should initially be largely dry, but we'll see some showers developing here through the day. And a windy day for everyone. The wind's coming in from the southwest. Gales around western coast, perhaps 50-60 mile an hour gusts for eastern parts of Northern Ireland into western Scotland. Some persistent rain developing here later on in the afternoon. Widespread showers for many. Where you miss them, in the sunshine, temperatures reaching 22 or 23 Celsius, but feeling rather cool with that blustery wind. For Monday, low pressure is still in charge. Frequent showers across northern and western parts. Some heavy showers in there, some thunderstorms. Those pushing eastwards as the day goes on. And another blustery day for much of the country. And it stays unsettled for the week ahead. Further showers. There'll be some sunshine in between. Temperatures around average. See you again soon.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
It's our biggest Great British giveaway to date. You could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. This 4-berth home from home comes complete with integrated kitchen and bathroom areas and has all of the tech you'd expect from the latest 2025 model. We'll also give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure that any adventures you take in your new motorhome are taken in style. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Dordme, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's